This is Joshua Howard from 180 Theory Hypnotherapy in Denver, Colorado. And in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to change how you feel about somebody using a couple of NLP techniques. And the reason I wanted to make this video is that over the course of the last week, I've had a couple of people I know reach out to me, and I've also seen quite a lot of people talking about this idea of how to change your mindset in order to overcome like abusive relationships, or to really not be so sensitive towards people that are selfish or clearly don't care about you that much. And so I thought I'd just make a video where I talked about one way that you could use NLP to help you with this process. So first things first here, I wanted to mention that with NLP, a lot of people like to think about it as a conglomeration of techniques, like, oh, if I know these 15 NLP techniques, I'm, like an NLP guru and I can go out there and do these amazing things. And on the one hand, like, sure, yes. But on the other hand, no, because NLP is actually about modeling. It's about building models and using models of the world in order to explore and change people. And in order to really find excellence, and I don't want to babble about NLP theory to you too much because I know you're probably not that interested in it, but one of the major presuppositions of NLP is that everybody functions perfectly. And the real question is, for what purpose? We often function perfectly as great anxiety machines or great stress machines. Maybe that's not what we want in our lives, so then we would need to change that system in order to do something differently. But that doesn't mean that there was anything inherently wrong with the system the way that it was before. So that said, with NLP-based modeling, there's always going to be a good side and a bad side to all the systems because systems have upsides and downsides. So that aside, I want to mention to you that what we're going to be talking about here is a specific model of human behavior and a specific model of mental sets and how they relate to other people. And so I'm going to keep the model pretty simple here because it's a model that can get very convoluted very fast, and the convolution is kind of irrelevant to most people because how it's going to be convoluted is going to depend on you. And so with that aside, let's go ahead and talk about this model. So the model is really simple. With people that you deeply love, you have a clear association of good memories. And with people that you hate, you have a clear association of bad memories. And so I want you to just experiment with this really quickly. Just take a moment and think about somebody that you just love dearly. Every moment you've spent with them has been amazing, and you just really cherish them because they're an awesome person. And if you don't have somebody that perfectly fits that bill, find somebody that's the closest to that in your life. And really just allow yourself to think about them. And think about how you feel, and to really see, what kind of memories are attached to them. And then think about somebody that you really, really dislike. Maybe even hate them. Really don't want to have anything to do with them at all. And as you remember back through that, I think you'll start to see that you're remembering bad memories, how much you hate them, how they hurt you, etc., etc. And so this is the model I want to present you with. If you like somebody, you associate good memories, and if you dislike them, you associate them to bad memories. So again, this is a somewhat simplistic model because I think you'll find that if you're having the issue of, loving people that you shouldn't love, or being really attached to people that are super selfish or walk all over you or are mean towards you, then you're probably in an experience where you're kind of muddling this. And, people have the opportunity to have good and bad memories associated, but still feel your love for some reason. Now, this specific issue is far deeper than anything that I can work on in a video or really help you with, via video. That's often going to be a very deep issue. But that said, working through this video here, you can usually start to associate people that should be in the hate column and people that should be in the love column pretty easily. And there's an important caveat to be careful of here, though, is that when you're doing these kind of association trains, you want to make sure that you're thinking clearly about what you're associating. So, for instance, if you have kind of a tumultuous relationship with somebody, but you really want to be deeply in love with them, if you associate all the good memories and either delete out or distort bad experiences so that they all funnel into something good, you can be involved in certain types of codependency, emotional issues like deflecting and taking blame for abuse and things like that aren't necessarily your fault. And so something, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, to keep in mind is that with all these kind of NLP models, they have a good side and they have a bad side. So you want to make sure that you look at why you're doing what you're doing and carefully evaluate that and really take the time before you start to work on these processes, because you could potentially lead yourself into a place that you wouldn't necessarily want to go. But again, I feel like it's safe to talk about these things because, a lot of people that are in abusive relationships already do that. Me talking about it in this video isn't going to, teach them how to do that. It's a natural process that human beings already do. Again, this is why it's an NLP model, because it's a model of how human beings think, act, and feel. So, likewise with the negative side, there's a very specific caveat. Make sure that the negative memories that you have are mostly balanced towards memories that are going to uplift you. If you think to yourself about 5 memories that completely break you down and make you feel really, really terrible and sad and just depressed, and lethargic and not wanting to do anything and just kind of willing to be walked all over, you might end up creating a situation in which you end up in a suckier situation. So keep in mind that with the negative memories, you want to ideally choose things that are going to be uplifting of a certain sense, uplifting in a negative way, like anger, the desire to get them out of your life, frustration with them, just being done, being ready to be done with them. Because if you're kind of following what I'm saying with the model here, the semantic crux, the sort of narrative arc of the series of memories that you're telling yourself is the story of this other person. Our minds very much work in a way where we tell ourselves stories about certain things. And so if you associate a bunch of good memories towards somebody, the story's going to be good. And if you associate a bunch of bad memories, the story's going to be bad. It's very much like a montage in a movie or a TV show. You watch a montage and you see the people getting stronger. You see the people getting better. And in certain situations, you see like a montage of drug usage and their life deteriorating or something. Exactly the same idea. So, what you're going to want to do here is think about the person in your life that you want to change the way that you feel about. Excellent. So I want you to just close your eyes now and just imagine how you feel about them now. And just think about it. How do you associate them? Is it already mostly good associations? Or is it mostly bad associations? And where do those associations lead? For instance, sometimes when people are in a relationship and they start to fall out of love with the other person, they associate a lot of good things towards them, but they're more friendship related, or they're, like a brother or something of that nature. And so that might be where the issue is. But again, pay careful attention to see if what you're feeling is muddled and how far away it is from how you would actually like to feel about them. Now, I'm making this video in response to quite a lot of other people talking about negative experiences of other people. So the example I'm going to give and demonstrate here is going to be a negative example. But again, it doesn't need to be negative. You could turn this into a positive if you would like. But you'll have to, spin it around. So the major reason that I made this video was a couple people were asking me about if I had any tips or any ways I could help them to learn to start to train their mind and not be so sensitive and not love and care so much for people that were mean towards them or selfish in general. And a lot of the people that are asking this kind of stuff are facing divorce or breakups or things of that nature. So let's go ahead and just assume for the case of example here that somebody wanted to associate a bunch of bad feelings towards their ex so that they could move on. A lot of people when they get divorced get really stuck on their ex and they, want to get back with it and they live in the past of what that relationship was. And if you're one of those people, I think you'll find that you're associating a lot of really, really good memories towards this person and those experiences, even though there was probably a lot of bad things. Probably a lot of things that were not so good. And those are all just being distorted and deleted away. So what we want to do in order to shift this is to take it so that this series of associations goes away and instead we have a new series of associations. So the first thing that you'd want to do is close your eyes and get into a nice, relaxed, altered state. And don't worry, we're going to go through this in a bit. But you'd want to get into that altered state. And then what you'd want to do is remember that association of memories. Them being amazing, you having great times, whatever, like your honeymoon, all that set. And then you want to stop. And you want to allow yourself to really remember 4 to 10 times that they made you super mad. That they frustrated you. That they let you down. That they really weren't there for you. That you wanted to push them away. And think about only those memories. And what you want to do is get into them so that you can feel them, taste them, smell them, hear them, see them all over again like you're there. And you want to be able to take them and have each one of those experiences so you can really feel it. And then you want to lay them out sequentially so that they go through time as the way that they happened. And then just run through them, and then run through them faster and faster and faster and faster and faster until you've built a new series of associations. Then from there you'd want to do two things. You'd want to start to swish these associations so that when you go in and start down this chain of good associations, that you push it away and pull back this series of negative associations and start to teach your mind to think of the negative associations rather than the good ones. So when you start going here, you just shift into the bad associations, bad associations, bad associations. And then from there, you'd want to use a technique called the circle of excellence in order to open yourself up and really start to learn new ways to be in those certain situations. So, with that said, and the theoretical model put aside here, if this is a process you'd like to go through, then I'd like to lead you through it now. So what I want you to do is to just make sure that you're in a place where you are free of distractions, nothing is going to pop up and distract you, and that you can lose as much awareness as you need to for about 10 minutes or so. And then I want you to take in a nice, long, slow, deep breath. And as you release, just close your eyes and gently let yourself relax as an act of will. Let yourself go deeper and deeper and deeper into a relaxing state. And just let the muscles around your eyelids start to loosen so that they get so loose, so limp, so completely relaxed. that you know that beyond the shadow of a doubt, you could open them if you really wanted to, but it would just take so much effort, it's not worth doing. And when you've gotten your eyes that relaxed, go ahead and give them just a little tug to let me and you both know exactly how relaxed you are. And side point here, if you're not feeling relaxed or hypnotized enough, just pause this video, go watch one of my other hypnosis videos, and as you're really starting to feel the state come on, pause that one and come back to this. Because unfortunately I don't have enough time in this video here really to do a long standing induction because this video is already so long. So that aside, just let yourself really feel that hypnotic state coming on. And then what you're going to want to do is just allow yourself to remember how you feel about this person right now. Just let your mind run through the series of associations that you have. And then let yourself let that scene fade from in front of you. And let yourself think about how you'd like to feel about them instead. You know, as I mentioned previously, you want to think about all the specific ways that they hurt you, they frustrated you, angered you, made you want to push them away. All of those things that made you still feel empowered to a certain extent. Avoid any of those times when they brought you really down. And if you want to go in a positive direction, think about all the times that you had great fun with them, that you had the best experiences, that they changed your life, that everything was amazing, and you just loved them and loved everything. And just allow yourself to really think about 4 to 10 memories that embody the way that you'd like to feel about them now. So just let yourself sink into those memories. See what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt, smell what you smelt, taste what you tasted. And again, don't get too boggled down in it. Just let it happen such that your mind can believe that it's a real memory. That's all you really need. You want to grasp the feeling. The feeling is key. So remember how they made you feel over and over and over again. Allow yourself to grab another memory and really feel it. Then to grab another memory and really feel it. And just keep grabbing memories. Grab as many as you can grab over the course of the next minute or so. And then just really let yourself sink into them. Again, seeing what you saw, feeling what you felt, hearing what you heard, to the extent that it's easy and effortless for you to re-experience those things. Don't get boggled down. Let yourself just get into the experience. And once you have a series of those things, of those memories, what you're going to want to do is to just run through them from beginning to end. Run through them. And if you can, put them in chronological order. It's not necessarily important, but if they're in chronological order, it has a tendency to kind of build a crescendo effect for some people. And then, again, run them from beginning to end. And then start to speed it up. And to speed it up. And to speed it up. And to speed it up. So you get to the point where you run through that series of memories like this. Like this. Like this. Like this. Like this. That's right. Go ahead and just keep running through that series of memories over and over again until you can really feel it in your body and how either negative or good it makes you feel. And when you have that, go ahead and remember back to the way that you used to feel about that person. And allow yourself to see the first frame of what would normally come up when you would think about them before this experience. And when you see that, go ahead and throw it off into the distance, and then pull back into its place the first frame of a new series of memories that are how you want to feel about it, and let that go. And once you have that happen, go ahead and start over again. See the first frame of the first series of memories, push it away, yank it back, and put it right there. So go ahead and do that one more time. See the first memory, throw it away, bring back the new series of associations, and let them play from beginning to end as fast as you possibly can. And go ahead and just repeat that process 5 or 10 times until you can do it this fast, from seeing the old memory to the end of the new series of memories. So go ahead and just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Just keep looping it. Just keep looping it. Just keep looping it. Excellent. And so now that you've done that, one last thing I want to show you. It's a pattern that's called the circle of excellence. And what you want to do, it's pretty straightforward. You want to just imagine that in front of you is a big circle. And in the circle, you want to first see yourself interacting with them in the way that you would have in the past. See yourself interacting with them how you normally would. Run it from beginning to end. And then inside that circle, go ahead and pause it at the very end and rewind it back to the beginning. And this time rewind it back before this experience happened. And imagine that you traded places with somebody who is an expert in this area. Somebody that wouldn't have the same issues that you had. And as you're able to switch to this other person, play through the memory again and watch how they do it. How do they do it so that they don't have that same problem over again with this person? And once you can see that, go ahead and just watch it unfold. And then at the very end, pause the memory and then physically walk into the circle and really let yourself get into this experience and get into where the memory was happening in the circle. And then rewind it back to the beginning of the memory and relive the memory doing what this new person, this hero that you put in there would do. And, it really doesn't matter if this hero is you in the future, a superhero, somebody from a TV show, somebody you greatly respect, whatever. Just make sure that it's somebody who seems to innately have the skill set to overcome this difficulty. And what you want to do then is just allow yourself to run through that experience 10, 15, maybe even 20 times over and over again so you can really get that in your body. See what this person is seeing, hear what they're hearing, feel what they feel, believe what they're believing. And that's really key. Now, why am I talking to you about the circle of excellence process and why am I adding that? Well, what happens when you create this new association chain is that you're starting to change the way that you respond to somebody, but you're also creating a vacuum because you're not going to know necessarily how to respond to that person or other people in similar situations. And so this is why you want to add in the circle of excellence at the end. Anyway, that aside, I think that is the entire process and all of the relevant information that you need to know. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, definitely feel free to put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear more about how this works out for you. And, definitely you're probably going to need to explore this, further than what happened here, but I gave you the basic rubric and the guideline of how to do it. So just start to do this process and practice it. Practice it a couple times a day and really just start to work it in there. Because what you're doing is starting to retrain the way that you've associated somebody in your mind, and retrain the way that you feel about them. This is a process that may take some time. It may just be like this and really sink in. It may take a couple weeks of working on it to really shift it for you. The real key is to get in there and let yourself do it. Anyway, I really, really want to hear about your experiences with this process, so definitely leave me some comments below. I can't wait to talk with you soon. Bye-bye.